Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. I'm Seven. We have Drew and we have Corey. GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. All right, so let's start out with Bloodlines. Let's start out with that because this is a series. We're talking about Final Destination.
Destination, yeah.
And this is an amazing series to last this long. Same concept. We all know what we're pretty much walking into. We know what to expect, but for some reason it brings us back in over and over again, which is a talent, right? For a series to do that. A lot of times we talk about films, we're like, well, isn't it the same thing over and over again? And I don't know if I want to watch this, but for some reason, Final Destination grabs us. So let's start with that first, and then are you guys anticipating watching this film?
So I just binged all 5 previous installations,
Okay.
and I am anticipating on watching the 6th movie. And when you go back and watch it, it takes, I think the genius behind this film is it takes a lot of people's phobias and it just goes to 11.
That's a good way to put it.
Which is genius. Yeah.
What are you thinking, Drew?
So I've watched piecemeal. I've gone through just about every film in the franchise. I think I'm only missing the most recent one.
Okay.
But I will say that Final Destination, the first one came out, when was it? 2000, 1999, 2000?
2000.
So we're talking like more than 25 years ago.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think. It's been like, over 2 decades, and this franchise has been around. It's become kind of like, I'd say at this point, yeah, it's a Hollywood staple, like just for its type, the type of horror suspense that it is. And I think what has been to its benefit, for good or bad, because not all of them have been good. I watched the first one in the theaters. So like the first 3, I think, were like my kind of wheelhouse when I was in. And then after that, they just got increasingly dumb. But what overall, down to where it's just like past a point we all kind of unanimous. I think it was the 4th one. We were like, yeah, this is wash. But to this, like the franchise's benefit, what it's proven itself over time is that, in my opinion, I think it's the kills. The fact that what you guys are just saying, it's like it takes our phobias, it takes these fears, these everyday common or accidents, rather you could say.
Right.
Everyday accidents could happen to you as a human. Statistics could happen that could, result in your demise. But then you see like the villain of the franchise, Death, will like do this weird like puzzle with it. There's a specific term, Rube Goldberg, where you have this kind of like a vector set, a series of things that connect that ultimately leads to the character's death. They've been able to really make a fun franchise out of those deaths, because that's why we're there.
Right.
We're there to see the death. Most of the time, I think in the later films, they aren't even that likable, the characters. We just want to see them get clapped in elaborate, crazy, staged ways. So that's kind of where it's at.
Oh, I see that lawnmower. And like, nope, that's not it. Like you said, it'll be these series of things, and it'll be like ketchup bottle. And that'll be the one that takes you in.
Yeah, when they did the trick. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the downfall, I think, from 3, 4, and 5 is they tried to make 3D movies, and they tried to make the deaths bigger than they were. I think that was the downfall. But for the storyline, and like you say, for the deaths, I think the concept is still there. That's why the 6th one, after how many years, it's, I think, the best-selling movie out of the whole series is Bloodlines, because, like you said, it's just the idea that's selling itself, basically.
Yeah, the parts of the lore that I think they've done well is the mythology around death and how it works. There's this weird pattern to where if you somehow, first off, we've never understood why some people in the world can see the deaths happen before they happen.
Right.
They alert others. Whoever escapes that immediate situation are then systematically killed in horrific, crazy ways. We've never really explored that, but in this one, Bloodlines, it seems like they're going back. They're almost pulling a prequel on us to where they go back to the 60s, and we see like one of the earlier versions of this. and the rippling effect that could happen with the people who should have been born or should have died and then went on to have kids, and their kids in turn, their offspring have to go out too because they weren't part of the plan.
Oh, so that's what it is.
That's great. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of dope.
No, that is crazy. And it makes sense because what else can you do with this? So it makes sense for them to go back.
And it makes sense because every movie ties into the previous movie.
They try. They try. It all doesn't always work, but they try to make everything connect for better or worse. It's all one chronology. It's all one set of events. You have characters that kind of get transplanted and pop up or are referenced in other films, which is kind of neat. But it's, again, this concept that, wow, death is kind of flawed to where certain people can escape it in the immediate, but those effects, ultimately, death will always circle back to get, like, you know, to get those do lives, to get those kills, which is, again, grim. It's I wouldn't want to live in that world. That sucks. But, like, it's you know, it's fun.
What do you mean world? We live in it now.
Well, I mean, yeah, death happens every day, but the idea that, like, death is an active force that's home aloneing everyone.
Right.
And then you got, like,
I mean,
Tony Todd, rest in peace, who's like, we never really did understand who he was. He might have been a guy that escaped death, or he was death's emissary, Tony Todd's character.
Yeah.
I think he shows up one more time for this last one, then probably going to be it for his character.
Right. Well, with AI, you know, and no one's ever really dead.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not with AI.
Yeah, I like the fact that they take something that is so inevitable. I think that's why anyone that capitalizes on the fear or just the acceptance of this concept of death has a higher probability of being a hit because everyone can relate to that at some point, either the fear of it or the acceptance of it, right? And I think they do it really well. But the fact that it's like an insurance wet dream watching this, all the movies, you know, all the ways that people can get hurt and killed.
all the weird and crazy ways how you could just, you know, accidentally just pop your stuff. One of the craziest ones where the franchise kind of has like among the fans, what are your favorite kills? Like, what's your top kills in the whole franchise? I'm pretty sure there's a dude that got his intestines sucked out from a pool.
Oh yeah, that was 4.
As soon as you said that, I was gonna say that pool was the weirdest, most craziest one.
The pool was crazy. The two girls tanning themselves to death was kind of, I mean, that was more funny to me than anything else. But that was a wild one. Them getting like cooked to a crisp in the tanning bed was kind of crazy. You make like a game of it. What's your top 10 kills? Your top 20 kills?
The pool, I was like, dude, you can come on.
Here's the thing, though. To Corey's point, that happens in real life. There's every year. This is like from what I learned from Palanuk. Every year, there's like upwards of 500 to 1,000 cases where kids go to the bottom of pools. They put their butt, like the suction stuff. They start messing around, and they kill themselves. They get stuck, and they either drown, or in some extreme cases, they like yank themselves up, and the force of the pool pulls their intestines out.
So that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Yeah, people have lost joints because of it.
Oh yeah, people have died because of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very serious thing.
So they should pretty much stop having suctions in the bottom of pools.
No, they need
it. It's a filtration system.
Yeah. It's just tell your kids never to go mess around in the bottom of the pool, never put themselves onto the plumbing or the piping, that stuff. Leave it be.
Wow.
Well, when it's regulated,
that got dark real quick for me. Sorry.
When it's regulated, it's normal.
Man.
Any pool has that filtration system, so they're normal. But when you take it up to the extreme, the dangers of suction, you know, physics, I think that's the scary part. And speaking of physics, when you said your most famous death, it came in the 5th movie, The Gymnast, when she folded and everything. Yeah, I think nothing else just makes you cringe because you see gymnastics in the Olympics, and that could be. I think in the movie they said, it's so regular. We're not surprised that it doesn't happen more. And I was like, wow, very meta. It's something that you think would happen a lot more, but it doesn't. But when it does, catastrophe.
It takes the idea that it doesn't happen often, but statistically it still could. And the franchise, it knows to play with that. Death knows how to play with that little nth percentile factor.
Right.
Alters reality just so to where that person meets their demise through that method. It's concrete. That's what's fun about it, I think.
So do you guys think this will be the last one?
No.
I hope not.
No, it's not. They're going to make as many of these. When we hate them, when we're old and gray and hate these movies, they're still going to be talking about, hey, y'all, make Final Destination 38. It's coming out. It's go. The reboot, the third reboot.
Now, I don't want, this is no side eye, but talking about been there for years, salute this man's commitment to a series and giving it to us over and over again. Talking about Mission Impossible, right?
Yeah.
Did we have enough? Is it enough? It's like, all right, after this, please, no more. We had enough.
As a lover of spy movies, no, I would never get tired of seeing Tom Cruise run.
Okay.
I prefer the intricacies of Mission Impossible. The worst one was 2, but outside of that, each one I think went to a new level.
What are you thinking, Drew?
As a non-Tom Cruise fan, I kind of don't care. But
That's fair.
Mission Impossible, I think kind of like at this point, what's this one called? The Final Reckoning, something like that. So
Yes.
that after this, they're going to reboot it, and they're going to do the thing that they did with the. If it is continuing with Tom Cruise, he's going to be like the old graying silver dude that's still running, but now he's going to be the mentor character. I'm pretty sure they're keep making those movies, the Mission Impossible joints,
Right.
but he's going to go more like a mentor character than just being the main guy
I
again.
can see that. I can see them doing that. That's
Because
fair.
how old is Tom Cruise now? He can't keep sprinting like that in front of cameras forever. Something's going to pop eventually. How old is he?
At some point. At some point.
I mean, props to him. I kind of find him to be a goon. I really don't. His acting style is alright, but I've never been a Tom Cruise fan. I do not go gaga over him like that. But yeah, the dude runs his ass off in movies. Sure.
He is 62.
62, yeah. So for a dude 62, still moving like that, props to him in that regard.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. He's about to be 63 in July.
He's still doing his thing. Props to him. Still doing his thing. But I always kind of been whatever towards him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that he does a lot of the stunts, I think that's the selling point.
At this point, it's about him doing the stunt. It's not even.
It's always been about him doing the stunts. That's Mission Impossible. I think he's the one that started the spy genre actors doing their own stunts because Daniel Craig took after that. But yeah, it all started with Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible.
He did do that, but only in the last. Well, definitely hyped it up a lot. The last film, it was pushed a little bit the one before, but definitely the last one that became the talking point. The PR machine was about that. In fact,
it started with the second one. It started with the second one because no one knew that he rode motorcycles, and they really zoomed in on him doing the stunts, and they said, yeah, he's been doing the stunts since Mission Impossible 1. Right. And like you said, every iteration, it just became more and more into mainstream media, but he's been doing it since the beginning.
Right. And
I'd say that.
It's cool. I don't know if that's for me really makes me say I want to see a film or not, just because someone did all the stunts or not. I mean, there's so many movies we see that we enjoy. They have people doing the stunts, and I don't know. Is that a selling point for you guys?
For me, being a fan of the spy genre, yes, because when you have movies like Kingsman and you see all of the CGI and the stunt people, it's cool. The scenery is cool, but it doesn't really give the realness effect like Tom Cruise did with Mission Impossible. It's a different feeling.
That's fair.
So if you're a fan of the genre, you do like seeing the actor perform these stunts, jumping from building to building, running as fast as you can, jumping out of helicopters, flying helicopters, doing stunts on motorcycles. It gives that realness factor just a little bit for, the immersion of it.
What's your take
and
on
like
that,
I said,
sir? Yep. Once what?
Yeah, once Daniel Craig, James Bond started, now we're finding actors who want to be in the spy genre who can do their, stunts like Tom Cruise.
I'm just getting flashbacks of like Jackie Chan from like Police Story and Project A, Armor of the Gods. And like Tom Cruise doing his own stunts is like a fairly recent thing, I would say, in his career. Not taking any credit or anything for that, but I would just say that like him, whoever, Daniel Craig, most recently, who's the girl that plays Florence Pugh?
Oh yeah,
Who plays Yelena, the funner Scarlet whatever character in Marvel. She did the thing where she jumped off of a building for the Thunderbolts movie. And I'm like, okay, it's becoming more of a common thing now to where you have actors instead of just defaulting to the stunt person, even though they still have a whole team of stunt people there.
Right.
It's like they'll do that stunt themselves.
Right.
They'll take the time and ante up and strap up. Not taking any credit from it, but I'm just like, is it really all that new when I saw Jackie Chan? Literally, Jackie Chan had dudes like getting launched out of crashed buses.
Right.
If you watch the first Police Story, I'm just like, dudes were falling out of the top, like those double-decker buses. Dude that gets launched out of the window and falls onto hard concrete. And I'm like, did you hear that Tom Cruise sat up there and strapped himself to an actual airplane for 35 seconds? I'm like, that's cool. But it's like, and even in that other era, you had Steve McQueen, who was like I'd argue like one of the first.
Right.
The actor, but he also did like a lot of stunt stuff. So it's like not the newest thing, but props to him for doing it.
Wow.
Yeah,
the
but
fact
like you
that
say,
you mentioned that, if you go further back, a lot of those martial arts movies, them guys,
they were doing that.
They were doing it.
Cynthia Roth. You had Michelle Yeoh back when she was young.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole Hong Kong action thing, they've been doing this for since the beginning. Partially for style reason, but also too because they're working on a shoestring budget. They had to.
I broke my ankle.
What I was saying with
I broke my ankle. I can't.
Get up, do it again. Put some ice on it. Get up, do it again. That was the policy.
But that's what I'm saying. When you come to the American movie industry and certain genres, martial arts, you're expected to do that. With spy movies, you weren't expected to do that. You weren't expected to do that in American culture. That's why when Jackie Chan came over here and started doing Rush Hour, no one wanted to insure him. And so I think from that standpoint, then you have someone like Tom Cruise doing their own stunts. You're like, oh, so it can be done. And,
well,
I guess
it was Tom Cruise that did it in 2, but what was it? Mission Impossible 2? That was directed by John Woo.
Yeah.
Was latched into that whole side of the community anyway. So that was mostly John Woo, but they just put Tom Cruise's face on it.
And it was still the worst part, but
it was, him jumping out of the window, like that part for me, the way he jumped just made me laugh. He's such a not tough guy in that moment that I just couldn't take him seriously. And then the dubs. It's a John Woo staple. It's his signature thing. But Ethan Hunt walking out of a burn room and some doves flying around. I'm like, dude, not anti-tough, but, and people enjoy it. But that was...
Shots fired.
I said from the beginning, the second one is the one we don't talk about. Every other one is good.
I didn't hate 2. I thought that 2 was okay, but it's just like, it got big. Tom Cruise doing all of his own stunts. I'm like, my word to that was like Jackie Chan. Yeah, he jumped out of a whole building by himself. I'm like, all right, that's cool. He revolutionized Hollywood.
What number is this one?
The second one.
No. It's I think it's number 7 or 8. I think it's the 7th or 8th iteration.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
We're good. It's time to shut it down.
No, let him do it. If he's old and gray, if he's 87 and he's still able to run like that and they're willing to put him in movies, let him do it. I'm not saying let it die, but
Jackie Chan doing the upcoming Karate Kid Legend.
Yeah, so I'm kind of more excited about that. Like, he can do his own stunts in this one.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. He's the truth. Jackie Chan is real.
Yeah, Jackie's my guy. He's the truth. Even he did like later on in his career, because you can't keep doing all the flippy, wuxia stuff forever. He started doing wire work after a point in movies.
Yeah, because he broke every bone.
Primarily because of all the injuries. Thank you, Corey. It's like primarily because of all the injuries that he's sustained over the years. Wow. You just can't. After a point, you can't keep that up.
Right. Shout out to Jackie Chan.
Yes. International treasure, y'all.
Yeah. And yeah, you said international, right?
International.
Oh, yeah.
We love him out here in the States. He's loved in China. We love Jackie Chan, man.
Yeah.
This guy's dope.
Yeah, he's.
Have you ever listened to his albums, his singing albums?
His
He has a
singing is
voice.
hilarious. He's not bad, but it's hilarious. For the 80s, that 80s power pop stuff you would do, oh wait.
So what? So we got so random film that I checked out. Let me see here. Um, do, How to Kill Monsters.
What is this?
So this was I was watching on streaming it. Stuart Spark, the director, and Lindsay Crane, Michaela Logan. Just shout out to some of the actors: Alexander King, Nicholas Vince, and Andrew Dunn. They did a really good job. It's a campy horror film. It kind of gave me uh, that guy that did a zombie movie, and it was like a comedy.
Simon
Ed?
Pegg.
Yes, Simon Pegg. What was it? The one he did?
Oh,
Shaun of the
which
Dead.
one did he do? What? Shaun is Dead. Hot Fuzz.
Shaun of the Dead.
Hot Fuzz.
It gave me
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead vibes, and it was all right. You know, if you're streaming, and I wouldn't say definitely I wouldn't watch this in the theater, but it definitely if you just want to watch something, popcorn, maybe you're multitasking, but just watching something. I think it was pretty enjoyable. Um, I like the fact that the tone wasn't annoying. Sometimes when they go campy, it just becomes super annoying, and you're just all right. Time for me to unplug. But it didn't do that, which was cool. The effects were good. Makeup was good. It was pretty good though. For what it's worth, wasn't a masterpiece because we love to throw that word around lightly, but it was
Mm-hmm. That's kind
shots
of
fired.
become more of a hyperbolic language too. The greatest film of all time, a new classic. I'm like, dude, come on.
You're going too far. Stop.
Chill.
And I know it's PR stuff too, and the thing is, I don't mind it. Again, I guess going to school for it and knowing how you got to make things larger than life and you're trying to sell. What makes me upset is when people in social media try to ride the wave of whatever the commercials are, what the PR people are saying, and they start just repeating whatever the intern wrote down, then I get upset. I'm just
And
like,
this is what I told you on why I don't watch trailers.
right. No, I hear
These
you.
days I watch up like a minute to 10 seconds of a trailer. Just enough to get the main points of the plot.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, if I'm in,
Yep.
I'll see it. If not, don't tell me anything else. People start talking too much in trailers.
Right. Do you guys still
And the
try to
closer it
get there
gets to
early
film
enough
release.
to see trailers in the theater or no? Just
Yeah, I still want to see the trailers.
I think that's the only place I really want to see trailers, ironically enough.
Same.
Okay, you
Same.
too. Okay. Like I'm not really.
All right, so
Mhm.
I do go to movie theaters. If I do find the interest, I think beyond 5-10 seconds of the trailer that I do want to see, or if I know that I'm going to watch the movie, I'll cover my eyes and I just like blink everything out.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever? I see a couple of the dramatic, like I guess coming of age story trailers. I saw a couple of those recently, where they kind of tell you the whole damn story. I was like, what was the point? Like, I don't want to see that. Even if I don't want to see that, but in addition, I don't want to see it because you gave me the whole story.
You watched it. You watched it. Yeah, when you make like a 2.5 minute trailer and it's like one of those beginning, middle, and end type of stories,
Right.
you've seen the whole movie by the time that it's done.
Yeah. You're like, and if you have any storytelling talent or just, you just watch so much, you're a lover of film, you know how it goes. You're like, there's nothing left for me here. Like,
Yeah. If you have
So-
any measure of like film watching skills and know at least the beginning, middle, and end of a movie,
right.
you can kind of piece together what clips that they show you and when it takes place and
Right.
when it's what's effectively the entire plot in the span of 2 minutes.
Correct.
But I think it's not really geared towards typical moviegoers. I think when you have those coming of age stories that are like 2 minutes long, they're trying to appeal more to their target audience, which is probably like someone 18 or under, who the movie is actually for. And I think you do need that time to set up a interest with that target audience. So while we're watching, like, this is crazy, the people who are probably going to watch it are like, oh, the more you show them, the more they're invested, the more they want to see, and then
I
marketing.
don't see that being a motive of it. Teenagers are less likely to. Well, I'd actually maybe say not. Teenagers are a lot more aware when it comes to like how film and stuff goes. You got kids like on YouTube all the time giving like reviews and reactions and breakdowns to things. They're a lot more cognizant of how like plot and character development and archetypes are than one would think. But just the same, to your point, Corey, if they know that their wheelhouse is like the 15 to 20 age demographic, it's like put all the parts in the trailer. I've seen them do this. Put all the parts in the trailer that we know appeals and gets the little jostle bones going for this particular demographic. Then we'll play it to a focus group.
Right.
Depending on what the reaction is, we'll either frame it with trailer A, B, or C, which has parts Y and Z in it. So it's effectively just how you package the product.
Right.
We'll name it at.
Right. Right. Oh, what else is I heard Seventh Heaven. They're trying to reboot that.
Oh gosh.
That was just random, but I'm just like, why?
Okay.
Why
are we doing this?
Anyway.
Why are we doing this?
Because creative like bankruptcy. We have nothing else. Literally, let's just pick all the stuff that was kind of popular in like the 90s, early 2000s, and we'll just reboot all that crap. We'll just make it all over again. Charm, let's just make it all over again. Buffy, let's just make it all over again.
But this time, add 3 people of color instead of the one neighbor.
Yeah. Sure. Same old crap. Let's just add a couple people of color.
Diversity box, check.
Yeah, check mark, check. Same crap, probably worse writing. Probably be like less nuanced writing. It'll just be in your face and just same crap as usual. Streaming live, we'll get to 1-2 seasons and it'll be done.
And also, don't they realize a lot of things that worked years ago and the way it was written and the vibe cannot work today because the world has changed. Technology has changed. I mean, if you wanted to be somewhat accurate, I mean, you would have 14-year-olds like this all the time. So the banter would be different. So many things would be different that you're not going to have the same show. So to reboot it, it's almost pointless. You're basically just selling the title of the.
Just pitch the original. Just pitch the original. Like, hey guys, this show is on streaming. It has themes X, Y, and Z in it. It might you like this group, and this group might like it. It's up on whatever streaming platform.
So as you guys say this, I realize that a lot of younger people now are going back to 70 songs, 80 songs that we found very great, and they're finding the appeal in it. I think the motivation of trying to bring back these shows with a new view on gaining a new audience to have them go back and watch the original show, I think that's the point, or that could be a good byproduct of them trying to bring back the shows in a new light. So,
possibly,
that might be one perspective.
Yeah, I would just say more like if that's the case, if the idea is we want to get them to the actual good product, which is the original version, the one that was popular in its time, advertise. Instead of putting all that money and resources into making a reboot that's probably going to fail after 2 to 3 seasons, like just put that energy into just hyping up the original product and then guiding people to whatever box set, make a complete series version.
Interesting.
Make a complete streaming thing on this site. To me, it seems smarter than putting all that money and resources into like a worse product. As to get people to go to the original good product or the popular product.
Yeah, but the opposite of that is when you have the newer generation just go straight back to those products and they don't identify or understand the appeal of that time, then they have nothing to bridge. So I think if you give them an updated version on saying, hey, this is what we could do with this, you should go back and see the original source. I think that bridges the disconnect.
They already have a bridge.
Hold that thought. Let's do a part 2 to this. We'll be right.
Okay.